Hello, everyone, and this is Ashton again with Self Help Skills and Tips, Episode 5. Let's get right into it. So, today's message is to practice the art of critical reflection. Now, if you're a social work student, this is probably something you've heard again and again and again, but for those who have never heard this term before, I will explain it. So, critical reflection is basically abstractly thinking about previous intra or interpersonal situations, experiences, and interactions in order to develop a new insight on them. So, basically, that means if you had a situation where you got into an argument with your mom or your dad, for example, critical reflection would be abstractly thinking or thinking outside the box, thinking in ways you didn't think before about the situation or about the argument you had, with your parents, and just thinking about it, thinking about different ways to think about it, thinking about ways you could have gone about it, ways you could have made the situation a little bit better, thinking about things that you done that you might not want to do again if you were in the same situation, stuff like that. You're thinking about the situation in a new way to develop a new insight on the situation. And again, I say situation, but it could be an interaction. It could be even an experience with yourself. Maybe you had an unconscious opinion, and what I mean by that is that maybe you saw someone and they told you something about them, they told you about themselves, and automatically you just you found yourself a little bit more like displeased with them. Critical reflection would, look back on the situation and make you realize, wow, maybe when they told me that about themselves, I reacted in a different way. Why did I react in that way? Let's get to the root of this. So, critical reflection allows us to basically enhance our understanding and develop new helpful narratives. So, why is it useful? So, these are the three main reasons that I feel like critical reflection is useful. But again, the really, really goes on and on. So, first one is unconscious biases may create microaggressions. So, for this one, when I mean unconscious biases, I kind of mean miseducation. So, for example, say you interact with an ethnic member that you've never interacted with before, and you end up saying something or you end up doing something that offends them, and you really have no idea why they got offended because you didn't mean it to be harmful. You didn't mean it to be a stereotype. You didn't mean it to be discriminating, whatever it may be. If you critically reflect on the situation, you can really analyze. Okay, what did I say? And if I'm looking from her or from their perspective, how would I get offended in this situation? While most of the time you might not even find the answer, at least by looking back on the situation, you can try to like at least analyze it a little bit more rather than just letting it go completely, just walking off without actually looking at it and wanting to realize, what did I do wrong? So therefore, by critically reflecting on our behaviors, we can kind of account and see if there was any microaggressions that we may could have, put forward. Number two, critical reflection can help you learn about yourself and how you react to certain stimuli. So, for example, say you went out and there was a lot of people, and you found that you reacted a little bit better to certain people, and you kind of found other people distasteful. If you look back on these situations, you can really analyze the person that you reacted with, or sorry, that you interacted with, and you can analyze your reaction with them. And from there, you can really pull out different characteristics. That you like, and that can generally help you on your your mission forward and try to find a love partner. So for example, say you reacted better with people who are generally more funny than people who are more bland. That's something you learned about yourself, and you did that through critically reflecting. So critical reflection can also help you understand people better, giving you an advantage to become a better helper. So just like number two, how you can learn things about yourself, you can learn things about others. You can kind of look back on how people reacted to your um, or to the things that you said, and see if they had a positive reaction, if they had a negative reaction. If they had a positive reaction, then you can say, okay, this person responds better to this approach rather than this one. And now if you're and if it's a person that you're constantly helping, for example, you understand that they like to be asked questions better rather than be gave advice. Sorry, than be given advice. So some examples of critically reflecting and how it could help. It can help you see the biases that you have towards people who do not work. Maybe someone tells you that you do not work or that they do not work, and automatically you assume it's by choice because they look fully functional and able to work. Um, and if you don't critically reflect on that, you can just look at the person and just be or look down on them. But by critically reflecting, you can allow yourself to understand. Okay, maybe they aren't working by choice. Maybe they were laid off. Maybe they're looking to find a job. Maybe they're just not mentally able to work. Stuff like that. Critical reflection can help by allowing you to see how you could have reacted better in a situation. Maybe there's things you like what you said about during an argument. Maybe there's things you said that you didn't like about an argument. If you critically reflect on those things, you can kind of do be- uh, you can kind of pull away those things, and so that way you can do better for next time. Critical reflection can finally help you by you seeing your flaws in an argument. So, kind of point two. Right? So maybe during the argument, you kind of thought that there was nothing that you were wrong about, and finally, after reflecting on it, you realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe they did have a point there. Stuff like that. So thank you, everyone. This is Ashton, and I will see you next time.